In this video, I will tell you everything you need to succeed growing basil in your city apartment. To start, you will need basil seeds or starter plants, depending on your preference, to use 6-inch pots with drainage holes, high-quality potting mix, or seed starting mix, a balanced fertilizer, access to bright light, and a watering can or a spray bottle. The first thing you need is to decide if you will grow from starters or from seeds. If you want quick results, you have limited space, or you prefer a simpler, lower-maintenance start, then starter plants offer an immediate head start, providing nearly instant gratification for those who want to harvest basil leaves quickly. They are ideal for beginners who want to avoid the germination and thinning process, or for those who have struggled with seeds starting in the past. Starters are already as established and less vulnerable to issues. They are less dependent on a perfect light and humidity conditions during the earliest stages of growth. It is more manageable when space is limited. Most of us that want to grow our basil in an apartment choose the starter method. If you have more room for a big indoors garden or a nice balcony, don't mind to spend more time in the process. You want to try unique varieties and want to have a continuous supply of basil, then you may consider growing from seeds. These are the steps to grow basil from starters. Gently move the starter basil into a 4 to 6 inches pot filled with fresh potting mix. Basil is compact, but if the roots fill the pot or the growth slows, transplant to a larger container 6 to 8 inches. Ensure pots have drainage holes to prevent root rot. Position in a bright, warm spot with 6 to 8 hours of sunlight or under a grow light. In some cities, there is no enough sunlight, but you can use a full-spectrum grow light for 14 to 16 hours daily. Maintain consistent moisture. The soil should be damp but never waterlogged. Water the top inch of soil if it is dry. Basil likes moist but not soggy soil. Water gently at the base of the plant. Avoid wetting the leaves to prevent disease. However, basil benefits from occasional misting if your air is very dry. Self-watering pots may be used if you prefer. These help maintain consistent moisture and are great for apartments. Use a balanced fertilizer 10-10-10 at first, then switch to a nitrogen-rich blend 10-5-5 for ongoing feeding. Organic fertilizers are recommended for culinary use and flavor. Fertilize every 4 to 6 weeks, diluted to half strength to avoid burning. It is important to rotate the pots. Turn them around regularly so plants grow evenly toward the light. Regularly pinch off the top sets of leaves to encourage bushier growth and prevent flowering. To harvest, pick leaves as needed, always leaving some foliage for continued growth. Now, how to grow basil from seeds. Basil germinates in 7 to 10 days after planting, and it's usually ready for harvest within 3 to 4 weeks. Fill your pot with pre-moistened potting mix, leaving about 1 inch from the top. Sprinkle 2 or 3 seeds per cell, or 6 to 8 seeds per 4 inches pot, about 1/4 inch deep. For holy basil, press seeds onto the surface instead of covering. Cover and maintain humidity. Use a clear dome or plastic wrap until seeds sprout, then remove for airflow. Place in a south-facing window for 6 to 8 hours of sunlight, or use a grow light set to 14 to 16 hours per day. When plants have 2 sets of true leaves, thin to 1 plant per cell or 3 at 4 per each 4 inches pot. Remember to keep soil moist, but not soggy. Water when the top inch of soil feels dry. Now growing from seeds can be a rewarding experience, offering a sense of accomplishment and a deeper understanding of plant growth. Both methods, starters or seeds, can be successful indoors if you provide adequate light, a well-draining soil, and consistent moisture. The choice depends on your priorities, like cost, variety, speed, and the gardening experience you want. You may be wondering how to protect the plant from pests and disease. Basil is generally pest-free when indoors, but watch for aphids or mildew. Good airflow and not overwatering help prevent issues. Signs that tells your basil plant needs more light include: the plant grows tall, with long spaces between leaves as it reaches toward the light source. Leaves may lose their vibrant green color and appear undersized or deformed due to insufficient light. The basil may grow very slowly or stop growing altogether without enough light. The plant may fail to branch out and remain spindly if it does not get enough light. Additional signs to watch for include leaves that are yellowing or crispy, which usually indicate too much light, so balance is key. Wilting leaves combined with dry soil can be a watering issue, but sometimes relate to inadequate light indirectly. Signs that your basil plant is getting too much water include yellowing leaves, especially near the base of the plant, brown or black spots on leaves which can indicate damage from overwatering, wilting stems and leaves despite the soil being wet, a sign that roots may be waterlogged and unable to take up water properly, leaf drop occurring all over the plant, not just the oldest leaves, bumps on leaves caused by excess water uptake, soil that remains constantly wet or has a greenish tint due to algae growth, foul or musty smell from the soil indicating root rot, mushy, dark brown roots when inspected is a classic sign of root rot caused by overwatering, presence of fungus gnats attracted to overly moist soil. To confirm overwatering, check the soil moisture by sticking your finger 1 or 2 inches deep. If it feels soggy or wet, hold off watering. Also, inspect the roots if possible. Healthy roots are firm and white or beige, while overwatered roots turn mushy and dark. If you notice these signs, allow the soil to dry out before watering again and reduce watering frequency going forward. On the contrary, you can tell it needs more water if the whole plant may look limp. But unlike overwatering, the leaves will feel dry rather than soft. Leaves may become dry to the touch, turn brown at the edges, or become crispy and break easily. The soil will feel dry an inch or 2 below the surface, and may even pull away from the edges of the pot. When you lift the pot, it feels much lighter than usual, indicating a lack of moisture in the soil. Leaves may lose their healthy green color and appear pale or lackluster. The plant may stop growing or produce smaller leaves if it remains underwatered for an extended period. To confirm, insert your finger about an inch into the soil. If it feels dry, it's time to water. Water deeply but slowly to allow the soil to rehydrate evenly, and mist leaves lightly if the plant is very dry. Regularly checking the soil and watching for these symptoms will help keep your basil healthy. If you follow this guide, growing basil in your city apartment will be a breeze. Having a basil plant in your apartment offers several advantages spanning culinary, health, environmental, and aesthetic benefits. Basil contains essential oils with anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, antibacterial, and antifungal properties that can help reduce inflammation, fight infections, and promote overall health. It helps reduce stress by lowering cortisol levels, improving sleep patterns, and enhancing mental endurance. Basil supports healthy digestion by improving bowel movements, balancing body acid, and alleviating symptoms like acid reflux and bloating. It has potential benefits for skin health, including anti-aging effects and combating skin infections like eczema and ringworm. Some studies that suggest basil may help regulate blood sugar, reduce blood pressure, and protect against certain cancers, though more human research is needed. Fresh basil enhances the flavor of many dishes and beverages, making it a versatile herb for cooking. Growing basil indoors ensures a fresh supply year-round, saving money compared to buying fresh basil repeatedly. Basil is easy to grow indoors with proper sunlight and moisture, making it suitable for apartment living. Growing basil supports sustainable gardening and reduces your carbon footprint by minimizing the need for store-bought herbs. In summary, having a basil plant in your apartment provides fresh culinary herbs, promotes physical and mental health, supports eco-friendly living, and adds beauty to your indoor space. It is a practical and beneficial choice for apartment dwellers, and the basil plant is considered safe for pets. With these guide, you can enjoy fresh basil year-round, even in a small apartment. Save it now so it doesn't get lost. Don't forget to like this video, share with friends, and subscribe if you haven't done it yet. Until next time.